Welcome to another powerful edition of Talk with Maria. Today, we enter the world of healthcare, not in hospitals or clinics, but in the homes of our most vulnerable. Our guest is a trailblazer in the operational excellence, compassionate service, and healthcare equity. As Area VP of Allegiant Home Care, Nadej is providing that data-driven strategy that can have a heartbeat. Let's talk compassion, compliance, and care. Welcome.
Thank you,
Ms.
Maria.
Nadej. How are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
I am just ecstatic. Today brings so much love. It is a beautiful day. You're sitting on a set. After we met in December, you have just opened up the eyes and ears of all the wonderful things that you're doing for Allegiant and the world, and of course our seniors. Talk to me.
Home care is a passion. It's something that people don't realize how important it is and what an important part of healthcare it is. And it is my absolute joy every single day to do what I do. I never would have thought that I would have been in healthcare because I went to school for business.
Tell us about you. Fabulous you.
So I'm a New Yorker, born and raised. I married a fabulous physician in New Orleans. So
Nice.
now I spend half of my time in New York and half of my time in New Orleans,
Wonderful.
absorbing that wonderful
And
culture
that tchotchke and the good food.
oh my God, the food.
Yes.
The food. You know, I'm tied to this thing that I do, and I'm so blessed.
Let's back up a little bit. Tell me
Okay.
about your education and the wonderful things that you did prior, leading you into healthcare.
I started out in the business community, actually. I went on and did an undergraduate degree in accounting and economics and finance,
Nice.
a graduate degree in economics, focusing on regression analysis and math.
That is so important. It just adds up the numbers, the entire
Yes.
understanding of the numerical value in every aspect of our lives.
Yeah. So my career was business. It was analytics. It was, numbers and accounting and finance. Then in 2009, there was a stock market crash, and I found myself without a job. And I got this miraculous opportunity after a lot of prayer, because I was in a situation.
Yes.
So after a lot of prayer, I went to church and I met this amazing lady. I had no idea who I was talking to. And I told her about myself, and she asked me to send her a resume. And within a week, I was director of operations for a huge home care here in New York. It was the most life-changing decision. I will never leave home care.
That's such a wonderful thing to hear.
I think I was in business for maybe 20, 25 years before I got into home care. Every day you get up, you go to work, just to go to work. Once I found home care, now I get up to go to work. No matter what's happening, it's a great day.
Yes.
And it's a great day because I know that what I do impacts somebody else in a way that is the finger of God.
Yes. Oh, wow. The finger of God. I love that. Tell me some of the things, the misconceptions of home care.
I think when people think home care, they think, people they think about seniors.
Yes.
Okay? And that's so far from the reality. Home care is something that can help us be safe and happy and live life in the community at any age once our health is touched.
Yes. I once took my kids to our St. Mary's Hospital for Children. So you can understand when a family has a child that is not, up and running and dancing and jumping, but then that you have to care for in that child's own sphere of care. And it just, you just have to understand the compassion and the whole dignity of keeping that wonderful life intact. Yes.
You don't realize how much time it takes, how much energy, how impactful it is when you don't have your health.
Yes.
And when you have to find some way to balance your life
Yes.
and your loved one's life and their needs, that's where home care could be the most important foundation for a family.
How does home care provide dignity to patients in ways institutions cannot?
When you go into a hospital, you go into a nursing home or rehabilitation facility, they're there with science and medicine and professionals to take care of you. They can help you heal. But, I think that when your body isn't working with you, your spirit needs a little help too.
Absolutely.
And there is nothing quite like having the opportunity to heal and feel good and be surrounded by people who love you and the things that you love, the music that you love, the food that you love,
Yes.
the home that you built,
Yes.
the
All
little
your knickknacks on your
Yes,
shelves, all your little something, your
Yes.
rugs, your
Yes.
whatever, your sofa.
Having all of that, it helps you get back to you.
Yes.
It helps your spirit meet your body
Yes.
so that you can heal and be whole.
Absolutely.
So a home care is very important in the healing process.
I totally agree that home care is important. Being at home, understanding all the wonderful things that you have to be familiar with. We have to take a quick break. We will be right back with Nadej Boigui. Welcome back to Talk with Maria. Our guest is a trailblazer in the operational excellence, compassionate service, and the healthcare equity, Nadej Boigui. You have blended compliance with operations inside of the healthcare and your business intelligence, which is exactly what healthcare needs. It's not just the patient care, it's the delivery of all the behind the scenes of what's happening to make that delivery happen. You have services of insurance, services of private hire, services of doctors, services of ensuring the right compassionate person arrives at that door, services of the intelligence of hiring the right people to ensure that that service behind the scenes is calculatively inside of the patient's home. How then have you just blended all those analytics together to improve the patient relationship?
It's a great question. And having been in home care for so many years, there's been a progression in how things have changed, the addition of technology, the different approach and utilizing technology and analytics. So at Allegiant, what we do when our salespeople go out, we start with something called a smooth start. So our salespeople go out and they have great conversations with patients. And they come back to the team and do an immediate case conference and tell us about our patients or our soon-to-be patients. We talk about culture. We talk about their home environment. We talk about...
It's the getting to know you.
Yes, it's a complete getting to know you. And we feed all of that information into our systems.
Interesting.
So by the end of a case conference, we know how to meet the patient where they are. We
love that word.
We know language, we know food. We start thinking about what caregiver could we send into the home to take care.
Compatibility of care.
Yes, because it's really important.
Yes, it's a total ingredient. It's the
Total.
most secret ingredient to staffing clients and caring for them at home.
And it helps them heal faster. It makes them comfortable with their care.
Yes.
It makes the communication great with the office and with all the professionals who have to go in there and take care of a patient.
Absolutely. And as well, it keeps the family members smooth sailing.
Yes.
Because if the family members can sail and there's a seamless understanding with the delivery of the care, then everything falls into place.
Correct. And
Yes.
as part of that case conference and that smooth start, the whole team participates. So you have your case management, you have your nurse, the visiting nurse, you have coordinators, you have the branch director, you have me, so that throughout the time that we're caring for a
Spent
patient,
well.
yes, that patient can pick up the phone and say, I need to talk to Nadej. And Nadej, I will know who you are.
Yes.
I will know what kind of care you're receiving. I will have an understanding of what your needs are.
Because you have that full scope picture, you have that understanding of that person, and nothing beats that compatibility. Care at home is very important. It's become a very serious lifeline. People in their early 60s are getting into demented states, Alzheimer's states, Parkinson's. People are falling apart, and things are just happening. However, there is help, and I call your company Alley Giant, a legion. It's a moving giant that takes care of people at home, that truly cares in a gigantic way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, thank you. I like what you did with that.
Yes.
So even in our education to our staff, we have dementia-focused education. We have education that is focused on what the patient is going through and having those familiar things in their home environment, the foods that they like, the music they like to listen to, the people that they can relate to. All of that helps them stay at home and live the best possible life they can live in that moment.
Share an example where data helped change your life.
Well, you get a patient, and you see a patient that's gone from one home care after the next, and then you get that patient, and you start putting care in place, and it's rough at first. Having the ability to sit back and look at all the information you have about that patient and examine their journey. Having been able to do that, I can identify, okay, let's try something different for this patient. Let's introduce music, or let's introduce someone who
Outing.
communicates
Yes.
really, really well. Because sometimes
Because
it's
patients
not,
want to be heard.
yeah, sometimes it's not just what they're physically feeling,
Right.
it's what they're emotionally feeling and what they're
Absolutely.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how have home care changed your life personally?
I'm happy, Maria. People think that you can find happiness in nice things, or a nice car, a great vacation. But to me, happiness has to be sustainable. Okay? And knowing that even in a day or in a moment where I may be struggling, okay, my struggle is making life a little lighter for somebody else. So combining that with everything that I love to do, it's really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That resonates a very happy understanding in how you care for the people that you're entrusted to. Because I totally believe that God gives you a moment in time where He gives you that task, and you're observed as to how you're carrying out that task. We're taking home care into a different level as far as the analytics are concerned, the numbers are concerned. Generally, when you take on a client, you do an assessment of that particular portion. Do you guys offer any volunteer? How do you work if a client just doesn't fit into your services as far as financially is concerned?
So we contract with a range of different partners.
Right.
So if they're struggling financially, we have partners in the community with waiver program, with DSS, with social programs that we can connect them with and still get to continue to provide care for that patient, but make their financial load a little easier to carry. We have all kinds of community-based organization resources that we can bring to the table to help support that person in their home.
I like supporting people at home. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay in touch with us. Welcome back to Talk with Maria. Our guest is a trailblazer in operational excellence, compassionate service, and healthcare equity. What an honor to have you. It's so exciting.
Thank you. Thank
you. Oh my goodness, and you came all the way from New Orleans, no less. How's the weather in New Orleans?
Oh, it was just fabulous. It was 80 degrees and sunny and just wonderful.
Home care isn't just medical support, it's deeply emotional.
Yes.
How do you and your team emotionally prepare for that intimacy of each patient?
Because of our Smooth Start process, we get to know every single patient. We have a morning meeting and we talk about our patients. We talk about what happened the night before, what's going to happen that day. And you'd be so surprised at some of the conversations because you get to know the patients, make sure that the caregiver gets there by 8 o'clock because, Mr. Diaz wants his egg and cheese from the corner store and she's got to go get it.
Nice.
So we have these conversations.
Give it an honest ingredient of care in.
Yes, because it's home care. The things that you wouldn't imagine really matter.
What training or support do you give caregivers beyond the need of the clinical experience?
So we have a boot camp.
A boot camp.
A boot camp, yes.
Home care boot camp. Get
home
ready.
Home care boot camp. Everybody's got to come in to home care boot camp. Okay?
Nice.
Tell me something, difficult about your patient. Tell me something great about your patient. It's a conversation that we have that helps us know the patients and know the caregiver, okay? Then we do some education. We do some technical work where they get to put the boss, me, like in the Hoyer lift. So don't drop me.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Right. Just create the dynamics around it.
I think the most important part of that boot camp, because at Allegiant, our motto is, we help you live your best possible life. So I have to make sure that the people that I send out are also well cared for.
What do family caregivers play in the care circle? The entire role of the family, the dynamics of the caregivers, the dynamics of the care circle. What advice do you offer to family members that are caring for their own family members?
Communication is key. Know your limits so that when you need help, you can say to your community, and we are part of that community,
yes.
Help me.
Yes,
yeah.
Very important because a lot of times family members are at home and they don't want to reach out. They don't want their neighbors to know. They don't want their friends to know that they're suffering internally and they need help. How can we honor and elevate elder voices more in the society, you think?
I love seniors. They are so rich in experience because the conversations always start with what's going on, but then they grow into so many other things.
Their entire life story.
Yes, and they've lived life. It is so important.
They are the golden nuggets of life. Mm-hmm. So, I want to get down that alley with you, but let's access how we can ensure people in the underserved communities receive quality care.
You got to meet them where they are.
Yes.
Yes. You have to, we make sure that we have staff that can go anywhere in all the communities. And, being able to provide services in every community, quality service, it's really important.
Plus.
Yeah.
What do you see that's missing in the healthcare system today?
I'd love to see younger people come into the industry and and stay and see a future. Because where I see technology and where healthcare is meeting
moving.
technology
Yes.
at home.
It
We
is.
need young people to come in.
We need young people to come in to help our seniors. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talk with Maria. We are talking with Area VP of Allegiant Home Care, Nadej Baughray. Nadej, it's such an honor to have you. I mean, we've talked about so many things in healthcare, but then there comes Medicaid and Medicare, intersecting with the real world of challenges. Where do we go with that piece of the puzzle?
As we age, we think we're prepared for what our changing bodies, what the changing world, what the changing environment, is bringing to us. And then, you find yourself in a position that you just didn't know that you would be in. Medicaid and Medicare is there to support our community, to support our seniors. It's what we have to fall back on.
I totally agree with you. What policies or models excite you the most in healthcare equity?
Our communities have made great strides in making sure that healthcare is accessible to everyone.
You've taken on a mission of compassion, accountability, and vision. What gives you the hope for the future of healthcare?
There's so much innovation now. When I look at healthcare pre and post COVID, COVID changed.
Very historical.
Yes, COVID changed so much for so many people on so many levels. Having the ability to bring the physician to you virtually, it's huge.
Very huge.
It's huge. Yes.
I love that physician to you virtually. It saves time, it saves money, it understands the dynamics of the person involved. But it also leads us to the motivation of all this AI products. How do you see AI playing into healthcare?
There's so much available now.
Yes.
Okay? You can take your blood pressure at home. You can wear a device that's monitoring, your health. All of that can communicate through an app. All of that can be fed into the app that your physician uses, so the physician can get a picture of your health. And for me
phenomenal.
Personally, my dad had a stroke, I think in 2021.
Very sorry to hear that.
Thank you. So he lost the utilization of one side of his body, of his right side. So he really can't leave the house easily.
Right.
It's phenomenal for me to be able to go there, have a few devices set up in my parents' home that can enable my dad to communicate with his physician.
Wow.
So he can still have that visit when it's needed. His medications can get updated. We can make decisions together with the physician without ever having to leave the comfort of his room.
What keeps you motivated?
The fact that I have to focus on the work, yes. I have to focus on running an organization, yes. But that those efforts support a census of people who are home, a census of people who get their favorite meal, a census of people who have somebody helping them with their activities of daily living every day. To me, I wake up in the morning and say, let's go to work.
You're self-satisfied.
Very satisfied.
I love it.
Very
and it tells
satisfied.
with you. It certainly does. One change you could make tomorrow, what would that be to improve lives?
I would love to incorporate into home care helping our seniors understand AI and technology and helping them learn so that they can participate in more conversations and more culture and continue living their
Kind of
best
like an
possible.
AI social.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, and so they can
Have
continue
orientations for them.
living their lives to the fullest.
Absolutely. Natasha, I want to thank you so much for coming to the Talk
Thank
with
you,
Maria show.
Maria.
Yes, indeed a pleasure. If one would like to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with your wonderful company?
We are a company that is from Miami to New York. You can also get in touch with us at accordcare.com.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Talk with Maria show today. I hope you found our conversations informative and inspiring. Visit our website, talkwithmaria.com, for resources and information. Share your thoughts on social media using hashtag #TalkWithMaria. Until next time, stay healthy. Talk with Maria is made possible by, if you're passionate about helping others, become a certified home health aide with Home Health Aide Training Institute, 516-333-3689, or visit hhati.com. Experience the authentic taste of Italy in the heart of Westbury. Rialto Restaurant. Make your reservation at 516-997-5689. Brooklyn Boulevard Home Care. They care for you in the comfort of your own home. To schedule your care, call 718-683-8303.